to Alpha Strike We Play. Now, we've done other videos like battle reports and unboxing and things like that, but we just want to talk a little bit about a little idea that we've come across, and it's to talk about paints. We wanted to focus primarily on the Reaper brand of paints, so you can see some of them here. We've had a little bit of a play around with them, and we do like them, but just to show you what they're actually capable of, we're going to combine it with another product that Reaper Miniatures actually makes, which is Warlord. The 28mm fantasy skirmish miniatures game. There are about 8 factions in here to pick from, and the 3 that we're going with to actually build up a collection of models painted in the Reaper Miniatures. The first one I'm going to pick is a faction based on gnolls and to some degree demons, and Cameron here is going to focus on one that is what is it? Dark elves and what else?
Apparitions.
Apparitions. So also demons to a degree. Yep. Yeah. And Taryn is going for something a little different.
Bloodstone gnomes.
Bloodstone gnomes. So
he likes small shit.
Yeah. So
actually, I kind of like the big stuff. We've already been there, but I'm going to go little stuff. Woo!
So Taryn, tell us a little bit about the Bloodstone gnomes. What is their style of play?
They are little underground guys like gnomes, but they live underground. They've all gone all like evil stuff. They're all been taken over by this. It's like warpstone, but different. Bloodstone.
Bloodstone.
Yeah.
Okay.
So they're they use a lot of insects, constructions like golems and things like this. The little guys like that, and yeah. So lots of little things all going forwards and hacking things.
They're animated from the Bloodstone stuff.
Yeah,
that's what it's all about, is it? Okay. Yeah. All right. So they are, from the name, it sounds ominous. They are an evil.
They are evil.
Evil.
Yes.
Okay.
Normally I go neutral, but they are evil.
Because it's more fun, probably.
It's like blondes. Yeah.
Yeah. Hey! Whoa! Whoa! My faction's called Kargir. They actually. Yeah, so a large percentage of gnolls, but it's also sort of orcs and goblins and things like that. It does actually have an option for a giant and trolls, so I'm not sure if I'm going to go in that direction just yet. We're only going to start at about maybe 200 or 300 points.
Yeah.
We haven't really decided, but it's going to be about that, so there will be a decent amount of figures just to get started. We are planning to actually do some demos of the game as well, but just to begin with, we just want to sort of showcase some of the models and an idea. They are also evil, focusing on speed. This guy here is their leader, or one of their leaders. They have an orc leader, or you can take this guy, a gnoll leader. He is a spellcaster, and he focuses a lot on sort of plague, death magic. He can boost his troops, giving them extra speed and maybe some extra attacks and things like that. Some of them can actually explode, taking out enemy models, which is kind of cool. But I'm interested to sort of see what I can actually build, what sort of types of builds I can do with them, and to see how they go against the other factions. So, but yeah, we'll show you a bit more about the models as we go with them. So, Cam, tell us about Darkreach.
Darkreach is awesome. Darkreach is split into basically 2 sides: the Dark Elves, or Dark Elf equivalent. Sorry, Tolkien. And Apparitions, which are basically demons that live in the shadow world between both realms. Everything they do is entirely based around speed and ice magic, and basically blinking in and out of combat. So I'm a real pain in the ass, which is kind of like how I like to play. So it's cool.
You'd like to be a jerk.
The Apparition focus I chose is because I've got quite a few Dark Elves already. I wanted to do something a little bit different. So this guy's actually a captain level in the game. There's 3 levels of leaders or 4 levels of leaders. Warlord being one of your big boys, like this bad boy here, captains and sergeants, and they lead your troops, which is really cool game concept. No massive negative if they die, but you obviously lose the abilities for the troops through. So I'm trying to make a themed force. I'm going to go all Apparitions. This guy's captain level, and he is mainly close combat focused, like the rest of the Apparitions, but a lot of really fast moving troops, which I hope you get to see over the next couple of weeks. Favourite part of the Apparitions over the Dark Elves is the miniature level itself. Reaper, as I'm sure most people know, it's one of the best miniature manufacturing companies in the world. And the detail they go through with their metallics is unbelievable. Like, it's full on. This guy has got about 17 different versions just in his skin and tentacles, which is awesome.
Wow.
Because it'd be good fun to actually get in there and paint up and
Yeah.
have a really good time. And I'm a bit sick of painting armour, so that'd be
Well, considering most of my army's going to be fur, I mean, I can have different shades of grey or brown or whatever it is, but if you've got something that's sort of otherworldly demons or whatever, you can
do
whatever
pick
you
sort of,
want.
Have you got an idea of what sort of colour you want to do with this guy in particular? Or?
Most of the Reaper versions I've seen, most people tend to go with the black, grey, and then the otherworldly sort of blue. But I've always liked the very cartoony lime green existence popping from Diablo, which is a computer game.
Yeah.
That everyone should
That's
know.
cool, yeah. Everyone's playing
So
it.
yeah, I'm gonna have an actual crack at wet blending up, because the Reaper paints are very good at that. Up into like an otherworldly green, so it almost looks translucent. Wish me luck.
I'm gonna put some paint on mine.
I'll probably, for my guys, I'll probably stick with the brown, but being a leader, I'll probably change this. I was talking about it before. I'll probably change this guy to maybe an albino, just to sort of separate him from the group, and that's probably why they follow him and worship him, because he's a different colour. Yeah,
He'll have pink eyes.
Yeah, but look, I like this model because it does actually have a lot of character. Yeah, it's like good motion and things. A lot of the figures that Reaper make have a lot of character to them, and they're really good. This one is in metal. They also do it in the bones range, which is like a plastic. But if you want a really nice model, you're best to go with metal because it gives you more detail to work with. So a lot of if you're going to go into competition and things like that, you'll find that most people actually pick metal, just simply for the detail, and it works quite well. Reaper paints will work on plastic, metal, whatever, and all that sort of thing. We'll show you all that as well. So, is this guy a character, or is he
He's character Hawk. The Hawks
Hawk.
are like little psycho guys that they pick. So they have a caste system. So you've got the little what are they called? Scraggers. Little scraggers are just these little fellas with the swords.
Okay.
And when one gets nuts enough, they stick him in armour and cover it in bloodstone, and then he goes out like this and kills stuff with it. So they just bludgeon people to death and suck their blood through the stone, basically, is the way I read it.
Ooh.
Yeah, it's cool.
So does the bloodstone actually sort of meld with them, or do they just make their armour out of it?
They make their armour out of it, but it's connected to them. I think they can still take it off and everything. It's not like some of the things that you get with those sort of things where it sort of melds into their flesh, but they can still take it off and all that sort of stuff, but it actually will feed them. So there's a couple of them that have the ability to life seize. Yeah. So when they kill something, they basically suck its essence out through the bloodstone, and they heal themselves, which is really cool.
And that works on anything in the game, like
yeah.
So living. What about this?
Well,
guy? Does it work on him as well? Because he's
constructs. It doesn't work on something that doesn't actually have life. I don't know if it'll work on aberrations. I haven't really looked.
Okay. So constructs.
I was focused on the wolves for a while. Now this is why I'm sitting here reading this, because they're not wolves and I don't know what they do. But yeah, no, they're pretty cool. I'm just trying to find him. I know he was a hawk. I think he's a specialist like character thing, but I don't think he's actually a leader. I can't remember.
Pretty sure he's a sergeant.
Is he?
Yeah.
But
just off the top of my head.
Just off the top of your head.
Have you done some research? I had a quick look through.
You've probably already broken this, haven't you? Oh god.
But some of the
There he is.
Oh, you found it?
Yeah, so that's Spike.
Is he? So he's named? Is he
Yeah,
unique
he's
as such,
Spike.
or?
He's a Hawk Sergeant. It doesn't say he's unique, but he is named, so I can't remember how Warlord works exactly. But he's a Hawk Sergeant that, yeah, he went particularly nuts. He was nearly killed, and he has actually been fused into his armour for various reasons.
Nice.
Yeah, so, and now they point him in the direction of the enemy and he goes nuts at them.
So he's very mentally unstable.
Yeah, he's mentally unstable.
Sounds like someone I want on my family.
Yeah, I see.
Pretty cool.
Let's get that guy in here.
Go ahead and kill stuff for me. Yeah,
so
okay.
little.
They are cool.
Why would you worry about him? You just sort of hold them in arms ready.
He just hang off, buddy. He's got his big block.
Okay. Alright.
I think they've got some cool stuff that goes on with them, but like I say, I've not actually used them before, so this is going to be interesting.
Okay. So I think, yeah, these are quite good. So half an ounce of paint. I don't know what that translates to. What was it, like 30 mils? 30 mils or something like that. So drop a bottle, but they do two types. This one here is the HD. So essentially a one application coat. So lots of pigmentation. Yeah, high density HD, high density. Very easy to work with. All the bottles actually have a little agitator in them, so it helps shake up the paint. That's it.
Yeah, sure.
Well, they all work, so that's good. Yeah, so yeah, that heaps and heaps of colours to pick from, so it doesn't matter really what sort of model you're going to do. They do mix quite well. One thing we've found is that all the colours tend to be of about the same consistency for use and mixing for the most part.
Universal.
Yeah, there are some paints from other companies we've noticed that some of the colours they're just a bit chalky or whatever it is, but doesn't seem to be the case with these ones, which is quite good. And airbrush ready straight out of the bottle, so that's actually quite cool as well. Being acrylic, you can basically apply it to anything, so they're quite quick. So that's what we'll be using. Lots of colours to pick from, so we shouldn't have any problems coming up with some interesting colour schemes for our armies.
One of the things, actually there's many reasons I love about this paint, I'm very grateful that you guys got me onto this stuff, is not just the high density on the pigment or the toning, the universal blend with these is fantastic, but the reason I love them most is because they are universally easy to blend wet. And even if you're not a massive painter, but you're definitely looking for tabletop standard with speed, ease, and a kind. What are these like? $4, $5, $6, something like that. It's crazy.
Yeah, about $5.
About $5 a pot for that much, which you're never going to run out through, because the whole thing has got the retardant in there. It's fully sealed. This actual top layer here comes off very easily. So no stress at all, you can actually get to if you need a lot of paint for like airbrushing or something like that, it's right there. But other than that, that seals perfectly and the agitator keeps that moist all the time. I don't think these are going to dry out at all, which means the other beautiful thing about it is that is fresh from the bottle from the store and it's full. I don't know if you've ever bought Fellatio paints, but by the time you get it from a shipping company to a store to your house, it's about half empty.
Wow.
Which is really painful when you do a lot of painting. So even if you're just looking for like a straight tabletop standard, you may play something where your entire force is very similar looking, has a lot of armor or something like that. The beauty here is their range is big enough that you don't have to blend up your own paint. You're going to find it in the range.
Yeah.
You've also got the advantage of the high density master series, plus they've got additional baseline coat paints, which are literally just a series of 12, 14, 15, I'm pretty sure, core paints that will cover 90% of your needs, and it's all dropper based. So if you're painting red armor, you take that plus one drop of this, you're done.
Yeah, that's right.
You'll remember it every time. You don't have to create separate pots. My paint desk is no longer littered with, I use this blend for those guys and this blend for those guys. And it just gets painful. This is like a one-stop shop system. Even if you're not a wet blender by trade, because I'll be honest, I'm not a wet blender painter. I am very much an old school layering as I go. To learn how to wet blend took me about 2 minutes for these paints, because it comes naturally. Most, especially companies like Reaper, or these guys are Cool Mini or Not, Wrath of Kings, the detail they can get on miniatures now is phenomenal, and I hate the idea of painting over the top of something and losing a lot of that detail. You know, this company's gone to, like, even this little dude, okay, this guy is a wee tacker, I'll be honest, but he's even his mask, I kid you not, has like the chainmail cuts and scrapes from a battle on it on a dude that big. Let's just for size comparison.
For scale,
let's show you how tiny this small scale fighter is.
What's that? 20 mil square base.
20 mil square base.
And there's your 40 and things like that. But,
okay, we'll put him next to your guy then. Look
yeah,
at him. You can lean on him and use
he's
his
still
bastard.
small.
But just that level of detail. Now, if you were to hit this with a traditional layering system, whoops, you're going to lose a lot of those details straight through. Thank you. Metal miniatures, we love them.
It's trying to ruin me already.
You're going to lose a lot of those insecure details through the sides. Any of the real highlight pieces on his armour, even the rock faces have got etching, and he's got the ability to actually paint in the bloodstone because I've etched it into the armour.
Yeah.
You're going to lose that with any other range. Yeah. Straight off the bat. The minute you put a coat over that, it's just going to sink in, that detail's gone. This stuff is already made, ready to rock and roll, one layer over the top, smash it with a nice highlight, wet blend it up, 2 layers, that's going to look amazing. And I actually can't wait to see what Taran does with these because
I gotta get some paints.
You've already got them.
Let's do this.
Well, the ones that you already had, you've tried out and you really like them. So
yeah, I've tried a couple on the wolves for Norscut, and yeah, they look pretty good. They worked really well. Came out of the bottle. With my not naming any names, GW.
we're not regular GW, we like GW.
I pop the lid and sort of paint from the lid. I don't know if anybody else does that. That's probably a no-no. It's a no-no. But it's easy. You pop the thing and you don't have to have a palette and all this other stuff. You don't have to mix stuff. You just take it out of there. But I'm actually happy to use those in a palette because they work really well. And it's easy when it's a drop.
Absolutely.
But they do a range of like the thinners and
you can buy thinners,
so
retarders.
The
They've got
retarders,
the as well, the glosses and stuff, which is cool. I'm pretty sure they have a glaze range as well.
Yes.
Which actually, funnily enough, you don't need because literally you add a little bit of their special formulated thinner to this in a couple of drops, and you've got the most perfect consistent glaze ever. Because again, HD, high density. The difference between taking a paint range and separating your range out between, say, layering versus base coat versus highlight versus dry brush versus wash is it limits that to basically that's all you can do with that paint. You need 6 of them. Or you can buy one of these, airbrush it, layer it, base it, retard it, drop it down, highlight with it. I dry brush with this, everything out of one bottle. You know that colour is going to be that colour across your army every time you pick it up and use it. I mean, honestly, I could rag on for hours about this stuff. I love. I've tried literally. I kid you not. I have tried every paint range known to mankind. I think just about.
Yeah. And
I would not recommend anything like I would recommend this. And Taz is not a.
I'm not a painter.
Not a painter, and he's on board. And because anything that makes you easier can get you from this to tabletop in a matter of like hours is what most people are chasing.
Yeah,
want to get in there. But if you're the other scale and you're like me and you want to go to town, you've got the potential to do it this range.
Yeah.
And there are some seriously world-class artists out there who use this stuff on their miniatures and they won awards with it. So why wouldn't you get involved? That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, that's right. And we never know, Taz, we might actually get you into some painting competitions. this might be the thing that does it.
Secret
I could have a
ingredient.
golden demons.
Golden demon. So when they ask you at the GW event, what paints did you use? You go, Reaper. Give me that sword. You can't have that
Series.
I think a lot of those people, they use a combination of paints, but I guess it's just sort of what you're used to. But I don't know, like something that's straight out of the bottle you could just put into an airbrush. That's pretty good. I really like that. So that's where we're at, people. So we'll see how we go. We'll do some painting. We'll paint up these armies. You can see what we're doing. Just follow it. Just keep an eye on the YouTube channel. And thank you very much. We'll see you soon. My army consists of fur and teeth, man. Okay.
This is your accelerant here. It's quality. Instead of standing there with your mini for 5 minutes in your hands, slowly sticking to it.
You just say exclusive.
No, you don't.
Only available from Applestrike.com.
Not. You have to put the knot at the end, otherwise it's.
That's what they call a 28mm skirmish fantasy scale miniature war game. So we'll try that again. There are about 8 armies in this faction.
Terrible. Welcome to Alpha Strike, and these guys won't let me play until we talk about stuff. So let's do this.